Yes, I can. I mean, I wish I was as good as I could be if I spent more time doing it, but I do. I repurpose a lot of clothes, so I'll tear like my kids' clothes apart and then remake them into like dolls' clothes. I try and reuse everything I possibly can, especially if it was like a material I really loved. I'll cut out anything that was stained and then I'll remake it into like a pair of Barbie pants, or everything's on a smaller scale. I'm still trying to tackle doing clothes for myself, but I've made a couple of clothes for my daughter.
I studied fashion design before I did acting, yeah.
So you can sew. I've been asking folks, do you have the skill set to sort of create clothing? And you do.
Yeah, I do. I have a bachelor's in it, and this is actually where we had our graduation show, so it's kind of like very nostalgic.
Yeah, so when did you learn how to sew? Were you young when you picked it up?
I was in high school, about junior in high school. I started to get my own like industrial machine and started going at it.
That's really interesting.
It's fun. It's kind of meditative when you just like sit in front of it and it's like you just like zone out.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not. No. But I was. The wardrobes, like constantly, they're like sewing things on your body. I cannot like sew anything. Like I can barely sew a button. Like it's really embarrassing.
Big fan here. She was just talking about you. So
Thank you so much.
Seriously, my dad taught me how to sew. My dad had his own garment business in New York, and my dad would bring me home fabric, and I sort of learned to sew with him, and he was patterns and always bringing me like notepads home to like sketch in color. So my dad kind of sort of unknowingly sort of mentored me to this. So.
I don't sew. I don't cut a pattern. I don't know how. I can make a hem. I can possibly make a dart. I can tell the draper how to drape, but I cannot, under any circumstances, do it. I was actually thrown out of Parsons School of Design because I couldn't do it. But I have a career in clothing that is very devoid of accolades altogether. I can't do anything.
I can sew, I can craft, I can sew. My mother is an amazing seamstress and she can make her own clothes. I'm not there. I like to quilt. I don't know where that came from, but I like to quilt. I love fabric and I like to sew. And last night my little niece, who's 9, was over and she said, she calls me Nana, and she said, Nana, can we make a mermaid tail? And I was like, yes, we can. So we made a mermaid tail for her.
I'm so impressed.
Well, listen, she cut the pattern herself and like had it all pinned and was ready to go. I was like, girl, you don't need me. Project Runway Junior, here she comes.